Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Yvonne Luttrell's podcast. I am the host, Yvonne Luttrell, and I have the very, very, very best, awesome, fabulous co-host in the world, SC. SC, what's going on?
What's good, girl? How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm good. I'm sitting here stuffing my face, y'all.
What are you eating?
Some fries.
What are you
French
eating?
Fries.
Huh?
Some French fries.
Oh,
some
wow.
French fries.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be smacking in y'all
so...
ear for a little bit. But you know,
okay,
here on the Yvonne Show, we do whatever.
We do it all. Yes, we do.
We get drunk. We eat food. We talk trash to people.
Yes.
We just don't judge you. That's all. We just don't judge you, you know. And don't judge us neither.
Well, so we definitely want to thank everyone for tuning in to our Thoughtful Tuesday show. And today's guest will be coming on later, and she's an author. Her name is Brittney Guary. I think it's Guary. So she'll be coming on within the next 30 minutes, and SC will be interviewing her. So, in the meantime, between time, what's going on? Is there anything that you want to say? Any current events? Anything in the news that you want to talk about?
Yeah, man. So, yesterday I got back to North Carolina. You know, I went away with the family for a few days. We hit VA, we hit Maryland, we hit Philly, and we stayed in these places and everything. And on our way back, we get caught with a bunch of traffic. Come to find out, there was an active shooter at UNC campus, you know? So,
oh, my gosh,
I'm like,
I've seen that.
School just started, you know?
Right.
And it's like, damn, already? You know, so, I don't know, it's just more of what we talk about people being aware of their surroundings.
Yes, I was just about to say that. We was just talking about that, I think, last week. It seems like every week we're talking about be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, because it's like, what did he do to possibly let everybody know that that's what he was going to do that nobody picked up on? Thank you. You know, and sometimes there's no clue, and sometimes there's a clue, you know, and it just helps you realize that it can happen anywhere. It can happen to you, it can happen to me, it can happen anywhere with anybody, you know, and I just think we as people, we need to start, you know, being more aware of our surroundings, you know, and I preach that all the time because it's important, you know, because your split-second decision can cost you your life or save other people's their lives, you know? And are you ready? Are you ready to jump into action if you're capable of, you know, protecting or defending or, you know, and I'm a firm believer that everybody should have a gun. You know? Everybody's like, why do you think everybody...
Everyone should have a gun.
You know, because criminals would be like, damn, everybody got a gun now, so wait, I can't really be a good criminal because this person might have a gun, that person might have a gun, you know. So I just, you know, I just feel for the people that get caught in these situations where they have to live with that for the rest of their life, like the Sandy Hook situation. You know, you got a whole bunch of different situations with these school shootings, and these are lasting effects that's gonna last people for a lifetime. You know, how do you get over it? How do you know, it's a rough one, you know, it's a rough pill to swallow for some people, you know, so.
And
It's just been crazy,
okay.
you know.
And last week I did say about, like how I am more aware and that if anyone follow me, it's okay if you follow me because I will be going into the police station. So you're going to follow me into the police station. But at the same time, you're going to get shot at. So everyone, like I said, and like you just said, everyone should have a gun. A few days ago, there was a shooting at the Dollar General. There was a white racist male. He killed 3 black people at the Dollar General in Jacksonville, Florida. So I think it was the second day or the third day I was seeing like different angles of the shooting, and you could see him in his trunk. He had put on his vest and he was walking inside with a gun. So that's why you definitely should be aware of your surroundings, and just for like in the future, anybody, like when you go to the store, if you see anyone with a rifle or whatever, kill them, shoot them while they're walking in. But I mean, you definitely have to, oh my gosh, you definitely have to watch your surroundings. But you definitely, it's sad though, but you have to really be prepared to pull out your gun at all times. That's where we at now. It's sad that's where we are, but that's where we are now.
Yeah. Well, I'll put a little disclaimer on something you just said, because I don't want people to think that we're promoting violence or we're telling you just go kill somebody or whatever. Just if you have a firearm and you're a responsible adult, you're responsible to have that gun or whatever. Just be aware when other people come around you that have a gun. You understand what I'm saying? Because that don't mean that they're responsible. Right. That don't mean that they're going to use that gun in the right manner. They're not going to keep it,
right.
Most of the times you look at how people carry the guns, and you can usually tell, who's what or what's going on with the person, because normally the bad guy keeps the gun in his waistband. He doesn't have it in a holster. He has it. You understand what I'm saying? These are little tell signs. And that's not to say that people that don't, because you could have just snatched it and put it in your waistband and just ran out the house. I get it. I understand that. But at that moment, those are things you need to look out for. Like a person that has a gun that's in the waistband, it's not in a holster. It could be a pancake holster. Yeah, granted it can be. But that's something that you have to be aware. You have to watch that person. And like I said, just because you're walking into a store with a gun and you know your intentions, you don't know what somebody else's intentions are, and you have to remember, once that gun comes out and you go into action, you got to think, are you you're going to be legally responsible for whatever action you take, you're going to be legally responsible. Are you in the right? That's what you need to ask yourself. Don't think because you think you're in the right means you're in the right. Are you in the right? Are you here? Are you doing this just because you have the power to pull out a gun and shoot somebody? Or are you using judgment that you should be using? Should you use logical thinking? They call it the reasonable man theory. You understand what I'm saying? What a reasonable man believes that this person or that person or these people are going to be in danger if this person does something. You understand what I'm saying? And there are crimes that are, that do cover and protect you if you do take that person's life. Rape is one of them. Kidnapping, forcible kidnapping, and third-party self-defense. But you got to also do your due diligence to know what states honor third-party self-defense. Because you could defend the wrong person. You could wind up killing the wrong person. You could be wind up killing the bad guy just because he looks like. You could be wind up killing the good guy just because he looks like the bad guy in that situation. So you got to do your due diligence. You got to watch. You got to pay attention. You got to just watch a further movement. Certain things, it's just, and it's not an easy thing to do, with civilians or people that's never had to deal with criminals or anything to that level, And I'm speaking from a level of being trained and being aware because of my because of my background, my growing up, the neighborhood I grew up in. So you learn these things from an early age, or just through training with some people.
Right.
So I know I might say some things like, wait, how am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know that? Everybody gets a gut feeling sometimes when things are not feeling right or things are not in the right position. You understand what I'm saying? Don't always second guess your gut feeling.
Right.
Don't second guess it, because sometimes you could be spot on. You could be spot on. And then you could be overthinking it. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to really weigh your options. Am I thinking it because this person is a different race? Am I thinking that because of this? Am I thinking that because of that? Or am I thinking that because he did this movement or he did that? And I really think that he's a criminal. You understand what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's a decision that you're going to have to live with. If you decide to take action and shoot somebody or pull out your gun or do anything, that is a split decision. And that is an action that you cannot take back. All right. That's an action you cannot take back. And you're going to have to live with your decision forever.
And we're not, like you said, like you said, we're not promoting killing, but we are promoting self-defense. So, like, if you are in a situation and you see somebody walking around with a gun, I would say to kill them. Shoot them, kill them, whatever. But if somebody is walking, towards a building and you see them, I would say either kill them or, shoot them where, they can't make it inside.
Well, let's do this. Let's say we promote that you defend yourself and the people that are around you, instead of us just saying, kill them. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody to come back and say, they was talking about killing people and this, that, and the third. And you understand? So I just want to be careful with the words that we use and the connotation that we use them in, So,
right.
I get what you're saying. I get it. I get it all day, every day. But
right.
at the end
Listen
of the day,
to SC.
Gotta,
well, you're right.
You're
right.
We got to think about, sometimes you got to think about your audience. You got to think about your who's listening to you. You could preach that all day, but you got to think, that some people are not comprehensive of certain things.
Right. Okay, you are definitely right. You are definitely right. But either way, with that being said, definitely watch your surroundings, everyone. If you don't have a gun, you should, you definitely should get a gun. And as far as like going grocery shopping, how do you feel about that, SC? Because me and Free, we were talking, and I was saying, I don't think we should, we shouldn't be afraid to go to the grocery store, but I think if people know how to, Instacart, DoorDash, whatever, I think I don't know. I feel like that's better. Now if you're going to go in there for a few things, but it's sad, but you got to be careful spending too much time in the store.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, too, with that, I don't want to promote fear. I don't want people to think that they got to be afraid. I want people to be cautious. I want people to be aware. I don't want to start telling people, you need to be afraid of this, you need to be afraid of that, and this, that, and the third, because some people don't know how to take messages, especially depending on who the messenger is. They'd be like, they're promoting this, and they're promoting that, and they're saying this, and they're saying that, So I just think that we need to be more aware of who we're around. We just need to pay attention to the people that, that we allow in our circle, But I don't think people should be afraid of shopping, because then we're going to get into another moment of things where it's going to just be weird. You understand what I'm saying? And life shouldn't be weird. Life shouldn't be weird.
But
we shouldn't have to. Yeah.
Me personally, I'm an online shopper. I will go out, but I'm going to do more online shopping regardless. And no, we should not be fearful, like you said. But I'm definitely going to even do more or online shopping than before. But I online shop just a whole lot of things, like all kind of things. The other day I bought some hair dye. Now, of course, I could go to the hair store, but I'm like, you know what, let me just get some hair dye online and some deep conditioner. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm just an online shopper.
Yeah.
But I do think...
Is that something you... Yeah.
I was just going to say, I do think that for anyone that's not good with shopping online, I think now is a good time to, get familiar with that. Not that not that you have to, but I just think, just in case.
Yeah.
Because I'm very
another round of shutting down, so I don't know, man. They're talking about another round of shutting the world down, so I don't know. We're gonna be doing online shopping in a little bit anyway, so get familiar with it, people.
Well, with that being said, stock up on your bleach, your Lysol, hand sanitizer. If we go there again.
Yeah. Well, I have my own personal theories on that. About the fear that the government is trying to push, but that's for another show. I just think that certain things, you put it out there in the air, people believe it, like the spaceships and all this other crazy stuff. They're always seeing UFOs, and now all of a sudden, all these years later, and it was talked about by somebody, I can't remember her name, but she talked about it. She talked about, the methods the government was going to go, and UFOs was the last one. Extraterrestrials, that's what she said. When they get to their last straw of trying to scare people, then they're going to talk about the extraterrestrials, and people are going to be afraid of that. Everybody's scared of ET. But didn't y'all have a shooting on your end too?
Well, I mean, but that's not like close here. Yeah, I had just said that but that's in Jacksonville. It's in Florida, but it's in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Yeah. There was there was a plane crash too, wasn't we just talking about that? A plane crash or something?
Yeah, it was a BSO chopper, a helicopter. That was yesterday morning. Yeah. I think like maybe a few minutes after they took off, I don't know what happened. Something went wrong with the chopper. He was getting ready to turn back around, and he crashed into some apartment buildings in Pompano Beach. So the pilot, he got killed, and the person inside of the apartment, it was a woman. She got killed also. And it was two other guys on the chopper with him, but they survived. They did manage to get out.
Yeah. You know what? I want to talk about this because I've been in this experience. I've experienced this. Death is a funny thing. I said I've experienced this. And I just wanted to speak about it a little. Death is a strange, funny creature, and what I mean by that is things that kill some people won't kill others. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't be here, meaning how bad my accident was, but I'm still here. You understand what I'm saying? And then you hear about a person get into a little fender bender and they're gone. And you're like, yo, what the fuck? It's just strange. Life is strange. We're living in a strange moment that I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, Yvonne. It's just crazy. Death is just crazy to me. It has no full design. It's unfair to everybody. Everybody's gonna die. something that you're not going to avoid. You know, everybody's going to close their eyes forever one day. You know, and it's just like, when is your number up? You know, when is that good sleep going to come along? You know?
And you can be so, like, you know, careful, like, hey, I'm not going to go to the club, I'm not going to go here, I'm not going to go there, and then, hey, you're sitting in your house watching TV, taking a shower or whatever, and then a plane crashed on the house, and, you know, you're gone.
Yeah.
Just like that, and that's what happened yesterday. Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. And then it was the people on the other side of the apartment, they were okay, but it's just, oh, my gosh, it's crazy. Like, okay, how she died, the people on the other side, they didn't. And then even in the helicopter, one person on the helicopter died, but the other two didn't.
Yeah, yeah. So listen to this. That's crazy you said that, because back when I was shooting porn, you know, we had a young lady, and they were out partying. And I want to say it was Thanksgiving. I know it was a holiday, and there was going to be drinking involved, right? She said, yo, instead of us driving, let's get a party bus, right? They get a party bus. The party bus crashes. She's the only one that dies.
Oh, my God.
The only one that was the responsible one out of the whole situation. She's the only one that dies.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, wow, you know.
That's kind of like, what's the girl name? Left Eye? That's kind of like her.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a little more to that than just that. You know, there's a little more to that, dude. You know. But I ain't gonna touch on that. You know.
Well, we can touch on that later.
That ain't mine. Yeah. Yeah, amongst ourselves, we can touch on that. You know. But yeah, you know, so yeah, it's just funny, man. Rap is just a funny creature, you know. And it's unfair, you know. Some people die in a what is the time you
Hello? Hello. Think we're having a bad connection. I don't know if Essie, can you hear me? Okay, guys. And he just got disconnected. He was saying something, but oh my gosh, should I do advertisements or what? He's going to call back. Well, for the people that are not live, that's not listening to this right now, if you ever want to call us live, we're on every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And the number to call us live is 563-999-3548. Again, the number here at the studio to call us live is 563-999-3548. Okay. And okay.
Yeah.
Let it happen again.
You know we got that storm. You know we got this storm that's hitting us. And you know I was moving around. I was outside. I came back in the house.
Okay.
You know I was driving, so. You know.
Okay.
You said that like a parent. Let it happen again.
Okay, yes. So I was just giving everyone the number to call us live. Again, that number is 563-999-3548. Again, 563-999-3548. And if you need to contact the podcast to reach Essie and I to be a guest on the show or for advertisement, you guys can reach us at 305-204-3371. Again, that number is 305-204-3371. So we will get the message. You guys can leave a message or you guys can text us, but we will get it. We do have other people that are working with us, so they will get the message if me and him don't check that directly, somebody will give it to us. So we are building up the podcast. SC and I, we're doing great things. So we do have people that are working with us as well in the background. That's not always online with us. But yeah.
Shout out to my girl Free.
Yes. Shout out to Free.
106 in Park.
Right.
We talk about Free for 106 in Park. We talk about our Free.
Right.
She does a lot in the background that, I think she should get a shout out for,
Yes.
She keeps my head on a swivel at least, She got to deal with Evolve, so I give her props for that too. That's her home girl. They've been friends for X amount of years, and I don't know how she did it, but she's done it. Maybe you could give her the guest that's coming on next phone number and help her out to get her some counseling for being Yvonne's friend as long as she has been, because I'm pretty sure she's going to need some help.
Or whatever.
I think we're going to, get Free. I'm going to pay for it, Free. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for your help. Don't even worry about it. I just deal with her on us being on the show. We talk during the week sometimes, but you have to hear her every day. So, kudos for you.
Right,
I have to send you a shot over to your house or something. Find out what she drinks. I'm gonna give her a double shot of that. When dealing with you, boy. But nah, you good people, Elon. For real. I'm
so are you.
It's been a pleasure working with you. Don't get on here and start getting mushy with me, neither.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
So in other news.
Okay, yes. So before we bring our guest on, I do see our guest just popped in. So, yes, before we bring her in, is there any other things that you have to say?
No, I think that they should legalize marijuana everywhere.
Oh, my gosh, they definitely should. So, well, I just want to make a comment on that. So I don't know how to roll the marijuana. And so
Hold on. Let's go back. Let's back up. You know, this is not 1800. Roll the marijuana?
Well, whatever. I mean, I always have to have somebody roll it for me. So I had to get some 1.5. I had to ask someone like, okay, well, what do I get? So they said the 1.5 paper. So I have that now. So I'm in the beginning stages of, because I want to do it by myself. I don't want to puff, give. I don't want to smoke with anyone. I'm not a drug addict either. Everybody out there. No, I don't want to share anything. I just want to, have a good time by myself.
I did not inhale. I just stand around and just watch everybody else smoke. I just watch everybody else smoke,
Whatever. Okay, but yeah, so we're going to bring on our very special guest. I did speak of her earlier. Brittney. Hold on. I'm going to let her in right now. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Brittney.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for asking.
Y'all kind of sound alike. Hold up. Who is that? That was Yvonne or was that Brittney? And I wasn't smoking that. Who was that, Yvonne?
No, you are smoking something. But yeah, she has a very lovely voice.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, because I said she sound like you. That's why. How are you, Brittney? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Don't pay us no mind. This is how we act all the time, you know? Man. So, are you getting any of this storm? This
No.
tropical?
Nope, not yet at least. I don't know if I will, but
All right. You gonna be prepared?
if it comes.
Okay. I read your bio. You got a lot of stuff going on, girl. So I'm just making sure. You know.
Yeah. I'll keep up with the weather, but
okay.
I think we're good at least up here for a while.
Where are you calling from?
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just got back from PA, Philly.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm not that far from there. I'm in Lancaster County, so yeah.
And who county?
Lancaster. Or like foreigners call it Lancaster, where the Amish are.
Oh, boy. So you Amish?
I'm not, but
I'm messing with you. I'm only picking on you, know. Don't pay us no mind, you know. That's just me, you know.
No, you're fine.
All right. So, Brittney, I will be interviewing you this evening. All right.
All right.
If that's cool with you. All right.
Sounds good.
I've like I said, I read your bio, and you're very wow. It's a very powerful bio you got going on.
Yes,
you know. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the. Do you mind if I touch on the different things in your bio? Through my
Yeah,
question?
no, go right ahead. Yep.
Okay. So my first question is, when did you start writing?
So I started writing about a year ago. It was right around October of last year is when I started writing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So what are the genres that you write?
So I do nonfiction, and my book is based off of my own personal experience with several different forms of abuse and healing from those. So I really try to encourage the readers that they can overcome abuse and trauma, and I walk them through how to heal and how to move forward with their lives.
Yeah, and I wanna congratulate you on that, because some women, you know, they get it, but it's too late when they get it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I want to just congratulate you on, you know, your journey, and you know, and I apologize if that's the test you had to take to get to where you are, but you know, everybody has a journey in life and their calling, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question is, what are the first steps that you would tell a woman that's in an abusive relationship?
Well, the very first step I tell everyone is you have to decide and you have to make that choice that enough is enough and that you want out, you want help, you want to heal. You have to make that choice because no one can decide it for you. No one can choose it for you. It's not an easy path. So you have to be committed to really being fed up, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, seeking help, however that may look. Whether it's law enforcement, church, family, friends, counseling, whatever it is, definitely seeking some type of help. And then there's so many more steps after.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. You know, when I was a police officer, I was young, so I really didn't get the whole why would she go back situation with the domestics. We'd come to a call and we'd be like, oh, he got to go to jail because there was a order of protection. It may have been expired or still active. You still had the arrest mail or whatever. Then next week or a couple of days later, you're going back, and it's like, yo, why is she still going back, you know? And then as I got older, I realized it wasn't that. It was that she mistaken fear for love. You know, and do you find that to be the case with women, or is it just an assumption I came up with that, you know?
No, I definitely find that to be the case with a lot of women, especially when you're facing narcissism and love bombing and all of these different toxic traits that an abuser can put on you. That's definitely one of the things. And then also, I know for me personally, it's just really difficult. It's almost easier in ways. It is easier to stay than to try to hide money, pack up your stuff, find an escape plan, especially when you have kids involved and, you know, the court system, the way that it is, it's very difficult. So between, just that false sense of love and then the difficulty that's behind it, I totally understand why women or anybody in abuse stays in that situation. I never did before until it came to me and my kids. And then I'm like, oh, I totally get it.
Right.
I kind of get it too, because I'm not gonna lie, you know, and I'm not gonna, you know, defend the actions of what we did and what we put in play. But there was a lot of things that I felt that we as law enforcement, when I was, failed the women. You understand what I'm saying? It was just enough to get her killed. It was just enough to give him enough opportunity to kill her the next time. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what they have in play now, but I know when I went through what we was trained on, you know, and then we had domestic officers, you know, domestic violence officers where they had to deal with that hands-on. But when you're the first officer there, you got to deal with it in that split-second moment. You decide to leave, and you come back, and he done killed the girl, you know? So I have another question for you. Have you ever had a situation where you tried to help a girl get out of an abusive relationship and the guy wound up killing her?
That has not happened for me personally. Not yet. And I hope it never does.
Right.
I know it's one of those that it is the likelihood of that happening is very, very high. And I think that's another reason why I say you really have to make up your mind and decide that you're going to get out and that you want to get out and you want the help, because even going back willingly is very dangerous, and running away willingly is very dangerous. It is just a very dangerous situation, period. But I hope I never have to go through that. I think I would be completely devastated to have to go through a whole nother type of healing process after something like that. But that is reality, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I got another question. It's a little touchy. I don't know, you know, how you would feel about answering it. If you don't want to answer it, it's cool, and we can go on to the next one. Would you be willing to share with us a little about your abuse, what took place?
Yeah, sure. So I faced different types of abuses growing up all throughout, as far as I can remember. And specifically in my marriage, though, is what I kind of touch on the most in this book, just because there were several forms under just one marriage, and it trickled from me down to my children also, and they faced abuse as well. But I have been through the sexual abuse. I've been through the physical abuse, the mental. In my marriage, he was very narcissistic, very manipulative. So just like the emotional trauma and the mental trauma that plays on you throughout your entire life. There was also the financial abuse. Like, I had to make money, but when I had to make the money, like, I also had to spend it, or else I couldn't, like, get groceries or anything like that. So leaving was very difficult, because then I had to find a way to hide my money, which of course was very difficult, because it's like, well, where's your money for groceries? And then I got pregnant with twins on top of that. So having to buy my own baby things And it was just a whirlwind of that. And then just the threats. And then, like I said, that trickled down to my children being physically abused. My 5-year-old was physically abused, and that's actually what made me pack up and leave during my pregnancy, during this very difficult time in my life. And even with my daughter, she was 12 at the time, we had to put cameras in her room to figure out what was going on. He found those, destroyed them, admitted to the abuse that took place with my 5-year-old son, the physical abuse there. So there was a lot of things that had played a role in my life, and not to mention all of the other abuses that I had already went through prior to marriage. Just more physical, more emotional, sexual abuses and things like that growing up. So all of that really built up, and I will say that I never, ever want to go through that again, ever. But at the same time, now looking back, I'm in a way thankful, only because I know that this is something that happens on a regular basis to so many people. It's not even funny how many people this happens to. So now I can help the best that I can with my own personal just experience. And I did get out. I did get healing. I'm thriving. I have businesses. You know what I mean? So I just want to encourage people that it is possible, even with kids. I have 4 full-time single mom. So it is possible. So there was a lot.
Wow.
Do you feel that there's any lasting effects on your children? Have they shown any signs that it's still affecting them?
Oh, yeah. My son, he can get very, temperamental, not like where he's lashing out abusive type of way or like hitting or anything, but just like where he doesn't really want to listen to authority. So like if I tell him to do something, if he really doesn't want to do something because he's busy on his tablet or something like that, then we can see that effect on him. Same with when my dad comes to tell him something or tries to discipline him, we can really see that like lash out. And then he gets like this fit of rage. He doesn't do anything with it but run away. But then he comes back and he's just like bawling his eyes out. So it's something like an ongoing, he's still continuing to heal as well. And my daughter, major trust issues, just all around the board trust issues. She doesn't like to be in the car with any other male. And if she does, like she had to have built up that relationship to that person. Even my dad, when he would come around and he helped us through, just him being here in the house, like she really didn't take good to that. So you can at least see like the long-lasting effects, but we are working through those. We're still working on healing. It's not a quick fix, unfortunately. I wish it was just as fast as you get abused. I wish it was just as fast that you could get healed, but it's not like that, unfortunately. So definitely having to like pay attention and be aware of those things while still also trying to make sure that it's the healing and it's not just an attitude. And then also me, like, okay, just make sure I'm being mom and I'm tuning into like, okay, well, this is more traumatic versus you're just acting out. You know what I mean? Like there still has to be like that fine line. And so it's very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's a lot for a child to have to swallow, And I give you the kudos for your dad being there, and kudos for you. Now, I want to ask you a question because over the years, over the months, and more so during COVID, people started saying, oh, this person's a narcissist. This person's a narcissist. And I think that a lot of people got away from the actual signs of a narcissist, and they just started calling people narcissists because that was just the word to say. What are the things that you've seen that started you to realize that he was a narcissist?
Oh, boy. Definitely getting caught in lies, I think, was one of the biggest things. He would, intentionally get caught in a lie, and it would always just somehow be flipped back around to where I was the one apologizing for whatever he had did. Even small things that were, like, he misplaced the cap to a razor. I told him it was in his pocket. I watched him put it in his pocket. When I was done with the razor, I needed it. He did not know where it was. And then he finally went out to his truck, and I'm watching out the front window as he's putting the cap from his pocket back onto the razor. And then that whole argument got turned back around on me and how it was my fault that I lost the cap and how dare I and this, that, and the third. Same thing when he would disappear for the weekends. It was like everything, no matter what we had argued about, there was years of arguments. So no matter what it was, it always got flipped back around on me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm the one that has to apologize, but it really makes you feel like you really do have to apologize because they get in so deep that you're like, oh, wait, maybe this was my fault. And you really start to almost think that you're crazy and that things weren't really happening that were happening. And then there's family that turns on you, and it is just a very, so if I had to say, like, anything, definitely just that flip of being caught in lies and then everything turns out to be your fault, along with other things, but that was, like, the biggest red flag right there.
Yeah.
Now I got another question because I can hear it in your voice. You know, you have a smile on your face, but you're still hurting inside. How do you deal with that every single day? If a woman is listening right now and she just needed that little bit of encouragement on how you deal with this every single day, what would you tell her?
Honestly, my faith is what keeps me going. That and my children. I dig into God. I pray every day. I do read my Bible. And doing that, I realize who I am. So, and I know not everyone has that faith or belief system, which is fine, but it's the fact of knowing who you actually are, what you possess, the high standard that you really are, and that you don't deserve everything that happened to you. And although that you can't change the things that happened to you, and it wasn't your fault that those things happened to you, you're responsible for your healing because you were created for something better. You do have a purpose after this. No matter what you think, what you believe, you still do have a purpose. And there's so many people that you can touch and help not fall victim to this, or help bring them out of that and help bring them into their healing, bring them into their calling and their purpose. And then also just breaking those generational traumas and abuses and curses from your entire family. If it weren't for my kids, I would have stayed, because I did stay. I stayed through several different forms of abuse until I almost lost my son. That's when, for me, the line was drawn. Some people, they stay a little bit longer. Again, I understand where you're coming from, but there's still so much more. It's still better to get out than to have to stay with that. So definitely doing it for other people and not just myself, because it's not just me. There's a world of us.
Yeah. And you might have people that say, well, she understands because she's been through it, but I don't understand because I ain't been through it, you know. And it's easy for somebody to tell you how to lace up a pair of shoes that they've never had to wear. So, you know, I just say that to the people that say, well, she's stupid. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know I've heard it. I've seen it. They was like, well, that's her fault because she allowed this. But they're not really understanding the situation. They don't know what your finances were. They didn't know the steps that you had to take to get to where you are. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's just for the people that's on here right now. That's listening and be like, well, she's stupid. She should have left a long time ago. It wouldn't have had to go this far. You don't know what you would have did because you were in them shoes. You didn't have to tie those shoes. You know, you could put them on, but you didn't have to tie them. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, and I'm proud of you for being able to recognize that and getting away from this dude. Yeah. You know, did you find with you getting away from him, was it any legal action that was taken that helped you get away, or it was just okay? Would you want to talk a little about that? And you know.
Yeah, because that is another really big, I think, important factor playing into this, too, is there were a lot of legal actions. I was on the phone Monday through Friday every single day, several phone calls with attorneys, lawyers, children and youth, the detectives, the state police, and the regular township police every single day. While I'm pregnant, into my early delivery, into the babies being in NICU for 2 weeks and, you know, coming home with newborn twins. Like, so it is very intense. The domestic violence legal team at the courthouse, they helped tremendously with what they could. They were able to set me up with the PFAs immediately the same day that I went there. They were very strategic in helping come and seize all the weapons that were in this house while he was still here. They were able to set us up with living. However, I had somewhere to go at the time with the kids, so I didn't have to go into their system, but there was something that they do have set up for that. And then also just the free counseling and the free attorney that comes with that. So I was able to actually get every single court hearing I haven't had to pay for. I haven't had to pay for the attorney or the legal advice when I would call in. They helped me with divorce papers, the whole 9 yards. Children and youth also, they were great to us. They were able to pretty much close the case relatively quick, in my opinion at least, and they did not take my children from me because that was a huge thing I was so scared of. I was petrified that they were going to take my kids from me just because we were married and we technically still lived in the same house, although I had left. So I wasn't sure how that was going to happen, but they were very, very helpful in that. However, when it comes to, like, the judges and their actual decisions and things like that, that was very difficult. The state police, the detectives, that was very, very difficult for me. I felt like they were not on my side, minus the fact that they came and took the weapons. However, that was like the judge told them to. But I really did not feel like they were on my side at all. They didn't make anything easy for me or my children at all. And I understand because so many women go back. So I get why they're looking at it like, oh, she's just going to go back. I had the perfect scenario to go back. You know, I have kids and I have no money. I have nowhere to live. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, why wouldn't she just go back? But no, it wasn't happening for me. So I had to fight tooth and nail, blood, sweat, tears to get and make sure that everything stood the way that we needed it to, that we got the justice that we deserved, and that he wasn't going to be able to just walk away from this completely innocent, or, you know what I mean, like nothing happened, basically. I think that he got away with a whole lot more than what he should have, but he still did get plenty of repercussions. At least we still have the PFA. So yeah, there was a lot of help, and then there was also a lot of like heartache and not as much help as I would have liked to have had, and definitely would have thought that we would have had. Even with the PFA violations, we almost got ran off the road by him. I have it on camera, and he's seen us all in the car and literally tried to drive us off of the highway, and that PFA violation just went to nothing. The police didn't even write a report for it. So there were a lot of things that were just like, you got to be kidding me. But I still wasn't giving up.
Yeah. I got, so what would you say to a woman that says, man, I went through the same situation and the police are treating me the same way. I might as well just give up and just let him kill me, or just allow whatever happens happen. What do you say to them? Like, you know, because I'm pretty sure you've had some come in there with bloody lips or busted eyes or whatever, and, you know, they like, well, the police ain't doing nothing, you know, because I know in some states you can get an emergency order of protection. Mm-hmm. And with the emergency order of protection, I know the cops come to your house and they remove all firearms out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you say to them? Like, they be like, well, there's nothing that, you know, what can I do? They're not doing nothing for me. You know?
I would definitely say do not give up. Just don't give up, because it's just going to make it harder for everyone else that's trying, for one. And for two, more importantly than anything, is you do not deserve to go back. It's going to be worse. I promise you it's going to be worse. It is better to just continue on with the fight, push through, soldier up, and trust me, it is so much easier said than done. And by soldiering up, I cried until I didn't even have tears anymore to cry. Like, I felt like I was literally having heart attacks most nights. I had to shut my house off and like block the doors and the windows and put up like different devices and cameras, and I felt completely traumatized. I didn't get sleep for months, just being petrified because they did that. They came and took all the weapons, and now he knows that we, you know, his secrets are out and he's getting in trouble for these things. And it is very, very, I get it. I completely understand, but do not give up. Don't do it. You will have the favor if you just continue to push through. Like, you have to just keep going.
My next question, I know people are going to be like, yo, what the hell are you talking about, SC? And my next question to you is, do you forgive him? And the reason why I ask that is because a lot of times people say, yo, the forgiveness is not for them. It's for you to continue to heal. Mm-hmm. So do you feel, or do you think a woman should forgive him if she's out of that situation? I'm not talking about if she's still wrapped up in the situation with him and she's forgiving him and she's going back and he's doing the same thing. I'm talking about after everything, after the aftermath, after, you know.
Yeah, I think personally you should forgive. And I did forgive, so I think. So, and I say this all because I have not had to see him again face to face. We don't have any contact. There's no contact with the children, obviously. I feel like I forgave him, but I won't actually know. However, the way that I look at forgiveness is not, it's okay what you did, I'm taking you back. It is, I am not going to retaliate and do wrong for wrong. I'm not going to intentionally just ruin your life or send people to kill you or whatever the case is. You know, however it is that you are, when you get mad at somebody, you have, you know, you want to do things to them or to hurt them in some type of way. I do not have that towards him. However, I also do not want him to just walk away from this free. I'm not dropping anything. There's justice that still needs to be served. You did what you did. You did wrong. You have to pay for those consequences. He's still doing wrong now. I am still enforcing that he pays for those consequences. However, I'm not going to go the extra extent of purposely trying to slash your tires or lie to make it worse or whatever the case is. I feel like I'm at peace by just saying, you know what, just go, like, I don't want you in my head space. I'm not giving you my thinking space, my heart space. Like, just God will deal with you. The judge will deal with you, and just stay away from us. And I think that is important that we do that because it does help us heal. Like you said, it really does. And then also definitely forgiving yourself. And I think that was probably harder than forgiving him for me.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Wow. I got another question for you. I know we at the 30 minutes, and I don't know if you mind if I ask you like 2 more questions.
No, go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you feel as a mother that you went through all of this and say one day your son says, I want a relationship with my father?
Yeah. I had thought about that before. Honestly, I think at that time I would definitely set my kids down and explain to them, like, this is what happened. I have all of the documents, his admission to it, and just let them know, like, this is what happened. Here is the facts. And if that's what you want to do after you are an adult and moved out, and I'm no longer responsible for you in that sense, you know what I mean? Then that is 100% on you. But this is what he did, and it is my job to protect you as a mother, which I did. And once you're out of that realm of quote-unquote protection, then that's really up to them. I will be heartbroken, but at the same time, I really do hope that maybe he changes as a person in the years, not to have necessarily a relationship with the kids. Like, that's not the purpose I want him to change. I want him to change so he doesn't do this to anyone else. So that is definitely on the kids after I'm done being that protective figure for them. They would have to do that on their own.
Okay. All right. And my last question. How has it affected you as far as looking for a new mate, if you're in the process of looking for a new mate or dealing with a new relationship? How has that affected you? Or have you had an experience where something happened and it triggered you?
Yeah, so I definitely got to a good point in my life where I jumped back out into the dating world. And let me tell you what, it's crazy out there.
Yes, it is very crazy out there.
It is
very
but,
crazy
you know,
out there.
Yeah, I had fun with it, and I was able to, like, it was like a tiptoe thing for me, like, oh, let's get in, and then no, let's back out, or you start talking to someone, and I noticed that, like, oh, wow, that was very triggering. This is not, like, the time for us to be together. Like, I got some things I got to go back and, like, work on myself, because I don't want to bring anything into a new relationship that's going to, like, hinder us, especially right from the start. And I don't want to be triggered. I don't want to feel like I have to even, you know, put them through that, because that's not even fair. So dating has been definitely one of those, like, really crazy experiences. But I was able to actually meet someone that really treats me like a queen, honestly. And there are still some things that I notice that I'm like, oh, wow, this is triggering. But I feel like we're at least on a level where I can tell him this is triggering, and I understand where the trigger's coming from, and we can work through that together and come up with a plan. And it is a really good, I think that the dating scene after you've done tons of healing is like a really good way to kind of measure yourself and see how you are. And definitely it has broke down walls for me that I have built up, and it has brought healing into trust issues that I've had. So I say once you're ready, try it out. If it ain't working, go back, leave the person alone, try again in a couple months or however long it might take you, years, months, whatever.
Okay.
No hurry, though.
This has been a very interesting conversation.
One of the best guests that we've ever had, and I don't say that much. I always tell people that they could come back, but I never say, "Hey, this was one of the best," and SC know that. So.
Great, thank you.
I would love to actually bring you back for part 2, only because you touched on some things that I want to touch on, and there wasn't enough time to touch on, and that was the triggers.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's a big one.
Yeah. So,
that would be great, absolutely.
Maybe we could bring you back to the show.
Yeah, we can set something up. She has the information.
Yep.
Also, your book available?
Yes, it's on Amazon right now.
Okay. Let us know about it, the title, everything.
Yeah, it's called Breaking Free, Healing from Abuse and Trauma. There's a blue original copy. I call it the original copy. And then and it has like a heart with wildflowers coming out of it. And then there's a blackout copy. That is the same exact book. I just did that in more hiding for anyone that's still with their abuser. So there's no chapter titles. There's no big bold fonts or prints. Everything is compacted in. So if you're just flipping through it, nothing's going to jump out at you, and like you're not going to see anything. I even made the font a little bit smaller. So the book itself is a bit smaller too. So that black one is mine also. It's the same one, just formatted different.
Okay.
That's like they're calling the operator and ordering a pizza. I got it. I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
And can you say the title again for everyone? Can you?
Yes. The title is Breaking Free, Healing from Abuse and Trauma.
Okay. And it's available on Amazon?
On Amazon, yep.
Okay.
Wow. That was a very intense interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Yes, we would definitely love for you to come back. I will reach out to you and schedule you to come back.
Sounds good.
Okay, Essie, anything else?
No.
Okay. Nope. And can you pronounce your last name for us?
Yeah, it's Guary. Brittney Guary.
Okay, well,
Guary. Yeah, the U is silent. Yep.
Right, yeah, because I'm like, I don't know if it's Gary or if it's Guary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Brittney.
Yeah, I texted her before the show. I said, you're going to say this one. And I don't want to mess this lady's name. I'll throw her under the bus in a heartbeat. Like, yeah, pronounce it.
Oh, my God. Okay, yes. So definitely, we will definitely love for you to come back. And thank you so much for coming on. And everyone, again, that's Brittney Guary. And check her book out on Amazon.com. And that does it for us. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.